here we go.
Welcome, Collective, to another great episode of Brews and Builds. And this episode could not have been done except by our amazing patrons. Whether you're part of the Collective, Squeeze Choir, BigTucks, Mr. Combo, Storm Count, it doesn't matter. We love you guys and thank you for the support. Hey guys, welcome to episode 125 of CMD Towers Brews and Builds. I'm MrComboNumber5 and my fellow host is the nemesis of reason, BigTuck.
I think you've used that one before.
Well, guys, a great way that you can support CMD Towers is to head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/CMD Tower. We have 4 different tiers for literally $1 a month. You can get into the Discord, you get entered into a bunch of ways to interact with the cast on our episodes, or for $5, $15, or $25, you actually get swag, and continually get new swag whenever we do come out with new drops. So, patreon.com/CMD Tower. Now, if you're an existing patron of the Collective and you have someone you want to refer, just make sure they message us on Patreon. We do have a great referral program, so if you get someone to sign up, depending on what tier, will kind of depend on what free swag we send you. So be sure to grow the Collective. Now, we do have a great store. It finally is up and running after a weird WordPress WooCommerce decided to give us the bird and just shut down for however long it was shut down. Did get orders shipped out at cmdtower.com/merch. That's where you're going to be able to get our amazing Jund sweater. That's where you're going to be able to get our foil playmat, our matte sleeves, our reminder tokens, coins, all of the different accoutrements you need to bling out your cardboard. So be sure to head over to cmdtower.com/merch. Also, you've probably heard myself and others talk about their amazing playtest cards that we've used in the past, whether it's when we play with our local play group or even when we do specialty episodes like the Najila episode upcoming or even the Game of Thrones episode. You should head over to abyssproxyshop.com, use the code CMDTower to get 10% off your order. That is stackable, so any other existing discounts on the website, you will get in conjunction with your 10%. And the great thing is every order you do with them, CMD Tower does get a little bit back, so we can keep the lights on and continue to improve that content. So if you need a playtest or proxy card, abyssproxyshop.com. This video wouldn't have been able to be done without our video engineer at _tcoats. Tyler does all the video editing for CMD Tower. So be sure to follow us on YouTube, watch the videos, let us know what kind of content you want to see. So that way we can constantly improve it and get those numbers up. So Brews and Builds is our deck tech series. Since we conquered the path to 32, the 12 themes of EDH decks, we have moved on to the classic brew from day one, Brews and Builds, with a traditional episode. So we describe the brewing of decks similar to how beer is brewed. So we broke it down into 4 different categories. And then we have shenanigans. These can be pet card synergies. Alter the Brood, you could make an argument could be in here. We call that spice.
It's a bit of a reach, but it could. Not every beer has them, but spices and other additives help separate a normal stock beer from a specialty one. It could be the pepper that turns a jalapeno stout into a jalapeno stout, excuse me, or the addition of hops that turn an IPA into a double IPA. Not every deck has something that makes it pop, but if it does, this is where we talk about it.
So without further ado, let's get brewing.
Boom.
Today, we, in episode 125, BigTuck beat me to the deck, so therefore I can never build this.
Oh, you wanted to build this?
Built the best Ashiok tribal possible with Umbris imbuing nightmares in your dreams. So this is Umbris Fear Manifest. Let's head over to a spicy ball, and I'll kick this off with, we had 5 options. It's spicy enough. And sometimes I just have to come from the shadows and be a shade.
Interesting.
I like this card because it's the author of Shadows. 4 colorless, black, creature, shade, warlock, because, shade tribal is out there.
Right.
It's a 3/3. When it ETBs, exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. Choose a non-land card exiled this way. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. So this does a few things for me. I'm going to get to more of this ETB effect. So this now allows you to exile your opponent's graveyards whenever you feel like it. Something Planar or Leyline of the Void can't do.
Sure.
This has of course, I've drawn a blank on our favorite
Oh,
Shadowborn
Gonti.
Gonti. It has the
Yes.
Gonti effect where the card stays in exile. You could use any mana to cast it, and even if Author of Shadows goes away, you still have access to that card. I am all for that. And I think the 5 for a 3/3, it's a spice, but it's a spice that amazingly fits your deck.
This one's I actually am cutting this because I really struggled on what to cut in this deck, and I think it's because it might be being pulled in too many directions, right? So I think in the right build, especially if we talk about like focusing more on the ETB stuff, this card gets infinitely better, right? Being able to do this multiple times throughout the course of a game, I think it's a way better option than Gonti is, because you get all the things out of it. I just feel like maybe for 5 mana, I just don't know if we can get there. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think here's the issue, Tuck, as I go through your list. Being objective, you don't have a lot of ways to exile graveyards. Like, just being
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
So it's like if you start cutting ways to exile graveyards, then I think you need to pivot what the deck's even trying to do.
Sure.
And I don't know if that's a direction that Umbris can be supportive, because
Yeah.
Umbris needs graveyards exiled or it literally doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm here for it. I think it's a fair criticism.
but yeah, very cool card. I wish it did. I wish it had something else. Maybe be a 4/4 for the 5. That'd
Yeah.
be a little bit better. Or a 3/5. I would take that. But I thought Author of Shadows is pretty neat. I'm curious though. You had 4 others. What the heck did you pick?
It's Crumbling Sanctuary, the stupidest best card in the entire deck. This one is bonkers. All right. 5 colorless for an artifact. It's a rare for about $3. I got the gold border version. For each 1 damage that would be dealt to a player, that player removes the top card of his or her library from the game instead. This is the card that got Umbris to be a 60-60 or 66-66 before I even got to cast them. Scooty Shuffles, rather, he brought up the good point of, wait a minute, like, so we're just going to attack you every time, right? Like,
Yeah,
we're just gonna
exile out
attack
your
you.
graveyard.
Right. But get this, right? And it doesn't, Umbris, unfortunately, is only your opponents, right?
Yeah.
So I played that, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's not good. So I was like, wait, it's like, should I cut this? But get this, right? After like 2 rounds of everyone just attacking me, my life total didn't change. So this Scooty was playing a commander damage, stopped attacking me. So he was like, I can't kill you with commander damage. I can't do I can only exile cards from your library, right? And because everyone was focusing on me, everyone else's board state started getting up to the point where they're like, well, I have to attack him. Like, we can't just keep beating up on Tuck because he's not doing anything. He's just sitting here. And then one guy was playing mono green and was bashing people for like 20 points of damage a turn. So it's a spice. This is like the definition of a spice card.
Definition of spice. Yeah.
Because like this, if this was someone else's deck, this would 100% be the, so Tomer, has this card ever come bit you in the ass? Right? Like, it's the epitome of that card. But I don't know if the floor is really bad because I just don't have a library. And then when they did start hitting me, they
Like, are we putting Leveler in this deck now?
I was like, okay, does this mean that I also run Thassa's Oracle? but like, and then like the first one hit me for 5, and it was 5 lands in a row. I was like, well, nothing we can do about that. So it's too cute not to have in here, in my opinion, right? Like, I know a Mana Rock would probably be more efficient than this, but this is the only deck that's ever going to run this card, and it's way too cute not to at least give it a shot.
I disagree. Look, I think it's very cute. It's pretty funny. But I will tell you this: not throwing dispersions at your play group. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. You just keep attacking the person until they die. That's like, oh, BigTuck is comboing out. let's hit him a bunch. Oh, well, he's still comboing out. We aren't affecting anything, so I guess I'll stop. Like, no, you keep hitting them, you crazy people. So that's why I think the card is bad, is because if I saw this at the table, it's just like, guys, just keep hitting him until he
Yeah.
dies or he blows it up himself.
Eventually, he's gonna run out cards in the library.
Yeah. And you know what? If we all of a sudden get unlucky because his nightmare deck had a Fastest Oracle or Labman, well, that's on us.
Yeah,
But
I was gonna
most
say
likely, it's not in there.
there's literally nothing you can do, right? Like,
Well, guys, that's going to wrap up the spice package.